Turning now to the gridlock in ports across the country that's driving up prices and threatening our holiday shopping plans. Several major shipping companies are expanding their working hours to handle the demand. The Port of Los Angeles also says it's going to operate around the clock. Carter Evans is at the port with a look at how workers and businesses are preparing.
Well, a union rep tells me that dock workers are ready to work around the clock. In fact, it's already in their current contract, but all these extra hours are going to cost a lot of money. It's going to be expensive, and the union says change doesn't necessarily come easily, especially when it affects the carrier's bottom line. How long are the waits here to pick up a load sometimes?
Like 7 to 9 hours.
Manassas Gonzalez is one of thousands of truck drivers feeling the impact of the port logjam, and he's concerned even a 24/7 schedule won't speed things up enough.
Yeah, sometimes we sleep on the in-gate.
So you're already sleeping here sometimes?
Yeah.
Truckers at the Port of LA sometimes have to line up for hours just to pick up one container, and then where do they take them? Most warehouses are full, and that's delaying deliveries even further. The Biden administration's deal to open the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach around the clock is an attempt to tackle the backlog of nearly 60 cargo ships carrying 250,000 containers. USC professor Nick Vias is a global supply chain expert. Other than telling these ports to stay open 24 hours, can the president do anything to make this work?
I don't think there is much he can do. If you just open up the port, all you're doing is pushing the bottleneck further downstream. So we need the truckers, the drayage company, the warehouses, the logistics folks in between. Tony Yabaka's bike shop is just down the street from the ports. When we met him a month ago, he was waiting for bikes he ordered last year. Do you think it's going to help you get bikes faster?
No, probably not. I don't think it's going to make a major change.
Now he's just hoping to get enough for Christmas.
It's going to take a long time for 70 ships to get unloaded when the docks are already full of containers.
All those kids' bikes that you're waiting for, where are they?
They're either on those ships or maybe they're still in Asia, but they're not in warehouses.
There are a lot of moving parts here at the port, and it's going to take a lot of coordination to make this all work, as you can imagine. But the good news is shippers like FedEx and UPS, along with retailers like Walmart, they are pledging to adjust their hours so they can take advantage of the new overnight hours here at the port. Vlad and Anne-Marie.
All right, thank you so much, Carter. Weijia Jiang is following everything from the White House for us. You know, the Biden administration is looking to confront supply chain issues as the holiday months approach. Weijia, yesterday the president praised his decision to keep the Port of Los Angeles operating 24 hours a day. I want to play some of what the president had to say.
So by increasing the number of late night hours of operation and opening up for less crowded hours when the goods can move faster, today's announcement has the potential to be a game changer.
Okay, that's just, you know, one of the hiccups in the supply chain though. How else is the White House working to resolve these shortages?
Well, just like we heard in Carter's piece, there's not much more the administration can do, but they are trying to work with states and the private sector to make some headway. So as an example, they're trying to look for incentives for truck drivers, because just like we saw there, even if the ports do open up and all those containers are released, someone's got to transport them. And right now we are facing a truck driver shortage. And yesterday we heard from the Secretary of Transportation, Pete Buttigieg, who said the turnover rate for that job is 90%. So they're looking for ways to make it more attractive to people to not only take those jobs to begin with, but to stay there. And they'll continue to pressure companies and workers to do more. But, you know, this is already a very busy season. There's already a worker shortage overall. So it's difficult to see how they're going to be able to add on more hours for people or bring in more people. Certainly the jobs are there, but as we've been reporting separately, it's been difficult to fulfill some of those jobs. So, you know, this is a very long chain, and even if the ports are open, there's different parts of the chain that have to be addressed as well. And the White House has said, you know, they're just an honest broker here. They really can't do much. They're not going to change any policies because this is the private sector.
So, Weijia, let me ask you about this. Turning now to the coronavirus, there's an FDA panel that will be meeting today, and they'll also meet tomorrow to deliberate potential booster shots for Moderna or Johnson & Johnson. The advisors are also looking into sort of mixing and matching vaccines, which a lot of people are wondering about. What are you hearing about their discussions?
So this happens every time that the data set is ready to present to this panel, and they'll go over it. And in the past, what we've seen is maybe 1 day or 2 days after this committee meets, they will make a formal recommendation, and then the CDC can adopt it. So right now, only the Pfizer booster shot is available to certain groups. So the meeting over the next couple days will be about the Moderna data and the Johnson & Johnson. But as you mentioned, Vlad, the NIH will also be giving a full presentation on the data they have so far on mixing and matching, which means if you got one kind of vaccine for your first 2 shots, should you and can you get a different kind? For example, Pfizer, that's already available to some groups of people. And so this is really important, Vlad, to move forward, what boosters could do as we head into the winter months, because they'll also be looking at data already collected from Israel to see sort of how boosters have changed the game there, how they have helped at all, because we already know that over time, the efficacy, how effective these boosters are, goes down. So I think that there is an urgency involved here, so people can, make that decision as we head into those colder months when people have to squeeze inside whether to get their additional doses.
When it comes to vaccines, it really is like kind of two Americas. Like here we are debating this 3rd shot. Meanwhile, there's a whole swath of the population that hasn't even received 1 shot yet. It's something that the Biden administration would like to see happen. There is some movement on the Biden administration's employer vaccine mandate, where they would have, businesses with 100 employees or more make it mandatory to get the vaccine or be tested on a regular basis. What can you tell us about sort of those conversations and whether or not they're also talking about mandating booster shots?
So right now, to be fully vaccinated, the administration has defined as 2 doses of the Pfizer or Moderna vaccine based on the science and data available, and 1 dose of the Johnson & Johnson. So when you're talking about vaccine mandates, that's the bar here right now, to get 2 of those first 2 kinds or 1 of Johnson & Johnson. That could change. The definition of fully vaccinated could change if the science shows that 2 is not enough and everyone has to get a booster to get full protection after a certain amount of time. So even though that's something that they're talking about in ongoing conversations, certainly, especially since the boosters haven't even been approved for Moderna and Johnson & Johnson, that's not going to be a requirement to be considered fully vaccinated for those people who will be impacted by any mandate.
And of course, Weijia, later today, the president will make remarks on the state of the nation's fight against COVID-19. What are we expecting to hear?
So there is some good news here, right, that we've been reporting, that you guys have been talking about, which is that the number of cases and hospitalizations and deaths is going down. So I think that he will mention that, but be cautiously optimistic and remind people that we still have quite a ways to go to get out of the pandemic. So he's going to meet right before he makes these public remarks with his COVID task force to get a briefing from all of the doctors. And I think you'll hear him once again stress, for people to get their vaccines, to get their first doses, and maybe go over some new information about how the administration continues to work with companies and with schools, which is something that he's talked extensively about. So that's what we are expecting. I don't know if he'll make any news. There's really always the possibility for that, but I think it's just another opportunity for him to urge people to get their shots.
All right, Weijia Jiang for us at the White House. As always, Weijia, we thank you.
Thanks.